So guys, this is our 52 unit apartment complex in Buckhead in the middle of the city of Atlanta, Georgia. We bought this property for $10,650,000. We financed it with a bridge loan. One of the reasons why we bought this property is its amazing location. I don't know if you can see, but right over here is the St. Regis Hotel. These are high-rise condominiums that each worth, $500,000 to $600,000 a piece. And this apartment complex is sitting right in the middle of the city. So I'll show you one of the units that has not been upgraded yet. The resident that lived here for about 10 years and loved cooking with grease. So as you'll see, in the cabinets are caked with grease. But this is not what you want to see in an apartment to turn. This is just completely in really bad shape. So we would redo these countertops. I mean, look at the fridge here. It's in bad shape, especially for the rent that we're charging. People expect a much higher product, much better quality product. In our upgraded unit, which you'll see in just a minute, we actually got rid of this wall to really expand the layout and make it feel more open between the kitchen and the dining room. All of our properties do come with built-in, washer and dryer systems, but check out how gross this is. Look, so this is where the headrest was in the bed. So look at all that grease stain on the wall from this tenant's head. They're all, I think, 1,000 square feet, which is a good size, and it's a good size. Most of our tenants are young professionals, single people. No, I don't think we have any kids that live here. So most people live in the city, work in the city. They can walk to work, a lot of restaurant workers, healthcare workers, and the like. So that's the tenant base that you really want to focus on. The class of the tenant base is going to predict how well your property is going to do. So it'll probably cost $5 to $7 grand to churn this unit. It's a little bit of a deeper unit, but the guy was currently paying $1,500 a month. We can churn this unit and rent it out for $2,000 a month. If you're getting a $500 rent premium on your unit and you're spending $5 to $7 grand, that is money well spent. The floors they don't need to be redone. They just need potentially re-stained. They're a little sticky, right? Just from the grease and the grossness of the guy who lived here before. Let's walk this way. So you see these numbers on these parking spots? Those were not here before we bought the property. We have assigned parking spots to each one of our tenants, and we're charging them $10 per month for this assigned spots. Tenants love it, but better than that, we own 52 of these units. That's $520 extra a month, equates to about $6,240 per year. At a 6% cap rate, guys, we just increased the value of our property by $105,000. All this cost me was a bucket of paint to get done. No trouble at all. Oh my God. So this is one of our renovated units. So as you immediately tell when you walk in, it's an open floor concept, right? So that wall that you saw in the other prior unit was right here. And so what we did is we moved the stove from over here to over here. We put it in the island, creating an island with this beam, and now it feels so much more like an open concept. You can see that the countertops are upgraded. The cabinets have upgraded handles here and are painted white. We have new appliances, fresh coated gray paint, and of course a backsplash, subway tile for the backsplash. That's an upgrade as well. Recessed lighting, you can see right here. This unit costs about 10 grand to upgrade. This unit was upgraded when we bought it, and the sellers actually spent all that money to upgrade this unit, and they didn't increase the rent. So that's the value that we saw immediately. You have all these upgraded units compared to these high-rise condos, and you're charging $1,700 for this property. This unit can easily rent for $2,000 a month. This is called LVP flooring, and it looks like wood, but it's actually something that you just glue onto the ground. This appliance package is top of the line. When you're looking at multifamily properties, you want to always have stainless steel appliances if you're going for a more premium upgraded feel. The lower tier of appliance packages is white. Those cost the least amount, probably about $1,000. Black is the middle of the road, around 2 grand. Stainless steel, 3 to 4 grand. But again, you upgrade the properties like that, you're able to charge a higher premium in rent. If you're buying a property and rents are $500 a month, there's no point in putting in a, $2,500 appliance package, because you're not gonna be able to charge $1,000 extra per month. So a big mistake a lot of investors make is they try to buy a C-class property and turn it into an A-class property, even though you're still in a C-class neighborhood. The problem with that is you have C-class tenants all around you. The C-class tenant is not going to be able to afford an A-class property. So we used a bridge debt to buy this property, and the reason why we couldn't use Fannie or Freddie was because Fannie and Freddie, they don't like what's called fractured condo deals, so we had to go bridge. This particular program, though, had interest rates that are essentially Fannie and Freddie like interest rates. I believe the interest rate on this one was 6.15%, really good interest rates. We funded the balance of the purchase price through equity through our limited partners, and so this was structured as a real estate syndication. We ended up raising about $3.5 million. You cannot beat this location. This is probably one of the last buildings like this in Buckhead. Right across the street, there is a high-rise 60-unit condominium development being erected right now. Those are gonna go for $800,000 to $1 million per unit. So the land value that we're sitting on is roughly $9 million per acre. We bought this whole thing for 10.5. We own 3 acres. That's what, $27 million worth of land value right here. One of our exit strategies is once we buy the other 4 condominium units, we're gonna partner with a developer and essentially knock down all of these apartment buildings and build a high-rise condominium tower similar to the one that you see across the street. When we put this deal under contract, we inspected it, and one of the first things we noticed is that it really doesn't have any amenities. And there's really no space to even add some amenities. So we asked the seller about that. What's the story? In the back corner, there was a pool at one point, because you remember, this was organized as a condominium. So you had separate condo units owners at one point, so they needed to have some amenities for the condominium. And so there was a pool. It's now a parking lot. And so there's really no other amenities except for this dog cleanup station that you see here. So we had to take that into consideration when thinking, is this really a good opportunity to buy? The property has strong rental history. It was over 90% occupied when we purchased it, and the rents are extremely under market. This particular area, you're either renting one of those high-rise condominiums for $4,000 per month, or you can rent this property for $2,000 per month. But the current rents that our seller was renting the property at was closer to $1,700, $1,800 per month. So immediately we're walking into $200 to $300 of organic rent growth on day one. Now, one thing that you need to be mindful of, and we always factor this in when we're buying assets, is most of the time new owners will experience a dip in occupancy, a dip in collections, a dip in kind of just property maintenance. Because when a new owner comes in, a lot of the tenants feel like there's a new owner, new sheriff in town. And so some of them will try to get away with paying their rent late. They'll put in extra work orders, extra maintenance requests. Perhaps they won't renew their lease the next month that it's up. We've experienced that a little bit in this property. The occupancy is currently at 80%, and we're working hard to increase that occupancy. So when occupancy dips like that, we are on weekly asset management calls. We are riding our property manager's tail to help determine what exactly are you doing to increase this occupancy. You can do things like locators, or people who you pay a fee to bring in tenants. We have our own website. We're on apartments.com, we're on Zillow.com. I'm personally handing out flyers to local businesses in Buckhead about this great apartment complex that is close by in case some of their workers want to live here. So there's lots of ways that you can increase occupancy. So 2 things, this property at optimal performance, 100% occupied, will gross about $96,000 a month. Our expenses are about $25,000 a month. Our mortgage is about $40,000 a month. So all in all, this property is going to cash flow around $30,000 a month that we're going to share with our investors. We bought this property for $10,650,000, and we raised the equity from investors. But here's something that happened at the finish line. One of our partners did not have enough capital or connections to raise the rest of the equity. We were about $700,000 short. I had to leverage all of my personal lines of credit to fund this deal at closing. Now, structurally, that's considered a member loan from me as a member of the company, and the loan will get paid back in due course, but we were not able to fund everything with equity. We had to actually leverage my line of credit to get this thing closed. So the students and multifamily dealmakers are closing deals just like this, looking for underperforming assets, mom and pop owners, rents 20% under market in an A location. This is exactly the type of deal we like to close in multifamily dealmakers. We closed about $45 million of deals last year in the community. If you want to learn how to buy properties like this that are cash flowing day one, make sure to book a call with my team.